Welcome to everyone joining me today. To start, I would like to introduce myself. My name is Alex, and I am one of the members of the development team, and I will be giving a presentation about the updates to the job information. More specifically, we'll be taking a look at the audit trail and the franchise reports. So the overview. The goal of the session today is to take a look at some of the tools available to better audit job information. We'll be discussing a macro-level approach through the use of the franchise reports, as well as a micro-level approach using the upcoming Audit Trail feature. To begin, we'll take a look at the agenda for today. We're going to start by taking a look at the franchise reports. We'll take a look at the different types of reports available, the scenarios in which you would use those reports, and how they differ from their non-franchise counterparts. Afterwards, we'll take a look at the job audit trail. This is an upcoming feature for the end of 2021 that will allow you to see the changes made in your system. This will better allow you to understand the changes taking place and who is making those changes. Before we begin, I just wanted to go over some of the housekeeping items. This session will be recorded and will be available to all attendees afterwards. All attendees will be muted during the presentation to reduce the background noise. And if you do have any follow-up questions afterwards, you can reach out to support@canamsys.com, who will be able to provide you with any additional information you might need. So, in the past year or so, many of you might have noticed that we've been updating some of our older reports in the system. Some of the reports include the job management report, job listing report, AR aging report, and the purpose of our updates has been to improve report performance. While we've been redeveloping these reports, we've also started creating franchise versions of some of these reports. So you might be asking, what exactly is a franchise report? Franchise reports are a solution for users who are logging in to multiple databases and running reports in each database. This removes the unnecessary step of compiling the results together. Franchise reports allow you to query the data of multiple databases at the same time. This removes redundancy and saves time. This also allows you to take a macro-level approach to auditing jobs by allowing you to compare and contrast all of your data across multiple databases at the same time, providing an overview of all the information in your system. There are two types of styles of these franchise reports. The first one we'll be taking a look at is a detail style. As you can see from the screenshot, the printout of the report does not look any different than the non-franchise version of this report. Specifically, we're looking at the job listing franchise. Instead, what differentiates the franchise version of the report from its counterpart and drives the functionality of these reports is the DBB parameter, as you can see in the bottom left-hand corner. This DB parameter is a drop-down of all your databases that your login is linked to. You will be able to select which databases you would like to run the report on simultaneously. This is the equivalent of running the report on multiple databases at the same time. The output of each of those reports is combined all into one printout. We'll take a look at this later on and see what it actually looks like in the web. The second type is the header style. With the header style, the report is condensed to one line per database. The intention of this style of report is to allow you to see an overview of the important metrics between each of your databases. It allows you to compare and contrast and assess how each database is performing and identify areas that need improvements. Currently, we have 4 types of franchise reports created, and I'm just briefly going to talk about each report and its purpose. So I've switched over my screen to PSA web, and we're just going to take a look at some of the reports firsthand. The franchise reports are actually listed in the same area as the regular reports. So before we go to the list of reports, we're just going to make sure we have the rights to view all of these reports. So we're going to start by going to Settings, roles, and I am in an administrator role, so I'm just going to edit my administrator role, and I'm going to select reports, and then report. So this is going to show me all the reports I have the rights to view. The ones that are checked off are the ones that I can view. So I'm just going to briefly skim this list to make sure all the franchise reports have been selected. So the first one we're looking at is going to be the franchise scorecard. Then we got the job listing franchise, job management franchise, and the new assignment franchise. So I'm just going to go ahead and click save. And now when I go to reports, list all, and I filter for the word franchise, all of these reports are going to show up in my list. If you don't see the names of the reports under the rights list, that means the reports haven't been inserted into your database, and you'll need to send a request to support to get them added for you. So now that we're in this screen, we're going to go ahead and take a look at the reports. So I'm going to go ahead and start by taking a look at this franchise scorecard report. I'm going to go ahead and click view to load the parameter screen. What the franchise scorecard report does is provide totals for important metrics for the time periods you select. Typically this report would be used to compare year to year or month to month. For my report, I'm going to be comparing the 2020 to the 2021 year. I'm going to go ahead and click submit. I'm going to start off by just selecting the one database to give you an idea of what the report is showing us. And I'm going to go ahead and expand the results. As you can see, the first column of the report shows the period for which the data is printed for. We can now see the total amount of received jobs, approved jobs, closed jobs, pending jobs, and lost jobs in the years for 2020 and 2021. We can also see the average size of the jobs of the year. The average size is just the average revenue on the job. We also have the average days to complete. This is going to be the average days that pass between the invoice date and the paid date, as well as the average write-off amount, which is going to be the average of the credit memo amount on your jobs. And finally, we have the AR total column, which as you notice is the same for both of the periods. The AR total is showing the outstanding amount on the invoices in the database regardless of the dates, which is why it is the same for both of them. So now that we have an idea of what this report is printing, I'm going to go ahead into the DB parameter, and you can see that there's two databases in here. This DB parameter lists all the linked parameters, and whichever you select will print into your report. So I'm going to go ahead and select both and resubmit the report. As you can see, now we have both of these databases for both the 2020 and 2021 year, and we can compare these metrics to see how the databases are performing. The report is ordered by the largest average size being at the top, and the lowest average size being at the bottom. The franchise scorecard report was an example of the header report type. Now we're going to take a look at the job listing franchise report, which is an example of a detailed report type. Once again, we have the DB parameter in the top right hand corner, and this time we're just going to start by selecting both of the databases and clicking submit. With the new reports, there are some lesser known features, one of which is the document map. The document map provides a directory of the groupings in the report. All the detailed franchise reports will have a database grouping, and in this case the job listing report also has job type groupings. So if I expand these, we can see the lists of job types. Clicking on the grouping will take you to the corresponding section in the report. In my case, let's say I want to skip ahead to the cleaning database. As you can see, it takes me to the 33rd page of this report. This is useful for when you want to quickly view a subset of data. As you can see, this report is the equivalent of logging into each database, clicking submit, and exporting the PDF. In this case, you get the convenience of printing it from a single database, as well as having the PDFs combined into a single PDF. Another feature of the new reports is the ability to search. So if you're looking for a specific job number or a customer, you can search for it in here. And in the search results, it will show you where this is found, and you can go ahead and skip ahead to it. And like with all of our reports, you have the option to export the report to a PDF or Excel document, or email the report as an attachment. Now I want to briefly touch on the differences between the franchise reports and their non-franchise counterparts. In the second tab, I've already printed the non-franchise version of the job listing report. As you can see, it says job listing style 2. This is the new version of the job listing report with the improved performance. As you can see, the search and document map are still available in the non-franchise version. Like I said, this is a feature with the new reports. And the only difference is the parameter selection. So obviously the DB dropdown has been removed in the non-franchise version, but we also have some additional parameters that are not visible in the franchise versions, and this is because they are specific to the database, something like a team or location. The two franchise reports that I didn't touch on are the job management franchise report, as well as the new assignment franchise report. Both of these reports are detailed reports, like the job listing franchise report, that combine the printdowns for the databases selected. So that sums up the franchise reports. Now we're going to take a look at the job audit trail. The job audit trail is a new feature that is currently scheduled to be released at the end of 2021. So what is the purpose of the job audit trail? This screenshot is actually taken from PSA Desktop Accounting. For those of you who are currently using it, you are probably already familiar with the concept and are running the report in the desktop. But the purpose of the audit trail is to track what changes are being made to the job, by who these changes are being made, and when those changes took place. One of the common questions supports gets is, the job was deleted. Do you know who it was deleted by? Or, the note on the job has a different job type than what is currently on the job. Do you know who might have changed it? Currently, all the records have a leaflet at the top that show you the job created, updated, created by, and updated by. The issue with this is that it only displays the most recent updated time and person, and there's no way of knowing what the changes were, or even if there were any past changes that happened before. The job audit trail aims to fix this problem by giving you the ability to audit or view the changes in your system at a micro level, action by action. The audit trail will include the job number, the action that was taken, such as changing the estimate completion date from January 1st to January 3rd, the date and time that the action was taken, and the user that took this action. The job audit trail will be releasing in 3 stages. In the first stage, we will only be tracking changes to job dates. The second stage will add audit tracking for time cards, and the final and third stage will be adding tracking for all the remaining components on the job edit screen, such as the job number or the job type. So now I've gone back to the web and gave you a demonstration of how the job audit trail will work. So I'm just going to go ahead and edit this job. As I previously mentioned, we have this leaflet in the corner that tells us this job was last updated on the 26th by Can-Am, but we don't know what this change was. Also, I'm going to update this estimated completion date, and I'll also update a time card. We'll round this to an even 45. Now, when I go over to the job audit trail, we can see the changes that were made, as well as the previous mystery change that we did not know. So to summarize what we covered today, we took a look at the franchise reports to see how they give you a macro level approach to auditing the information in your system, allowing you to compare databases to each other and gather data from all your databases in one convenient place. We also took a look at the job audit trail to see how it allows you to view the changes in your system and audit information at a micro level. And once again, if you do have any follow-up questions or there's a report that you would like added to your database, feel free to reach out to support@canamsys.com and they'll be able to help you with your requests. Thanks.